Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Our guest today is Michael Petrov. So, Michael, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do.
My name is Michael. I am the CEO of Digital Edge. We are more than 25 years old company, and we concentrate in cybersecurity, operations of cybersecurity, operations, cloud operations in highly regulated verticals in things like fintech, financial, healthcare, health tech.
Awesome. So I'm just curious more about your background. Like, how did this idea come about? Just tell us like the origin story here.
It's a long story. I was born in the Soviet Union, and we've been enemies, and I graduated from military academy, and my specialty was nuclear, chemical and biological, specifically like nuclear. And when I graduated, Soviet Union fell apart, and because of love of music, I wanted to see the world. Everything was basically like falling apart. I graduated with excellence, and I could select the place where to go to work. I said that I wanted to be discharged with honor. They discharged me. I moved from Soviet Union. It was like one part, so I moved from Russia to Ukraine, and my parents applied for refugee visa, and America accepted, and Ukraine didn't even check my military record, and basically said you could go. So I came to New York, and day 3, I have an interview with CIA. Long story short, I had an offer to join military. They would keep my rank, but I came here to run private business, music, technology, programming, boxing. This is who I was when I came to America. And I was programming, I don't know, it didn't matter to me what to program. I could use punch cards and old, mainframes, or I could use assembler, or I could use like any, C++ or, Visual Basic. And first work I got was these people needed, it was a government work, and they needed, I don't remember, something like Visual Basic or Power Builder or something like that, and Clipper, which was like old database language, and I knew that. I barely spoke English. I got there, and it was Microsoft. It was a high Microsoft concentration of technology in that department, and I obtained multiple Microsoft certifications, and then .com was like started rising, and it didn't matter to me what to write, and I started writing .com websites, and I was consulting a startup, the e-commerce building startups, and we pushed a few companies public. It was a roller coaster. Then the bubble popped, but we were running multiple high traffic, high revenue websites. And the company that I was working as a consultant for crashed. And I spoke to them. They didn't care, and I picked up a few clients, and we started doing like clustering, high availability, high performance in data centers. And we were like implanted in a few data centers. And when they said it was like me and like another guy, then another guy, then another guy, and we grew like slowly, like this. So I'm not proud of myself as kind of like a business development, because everybody wants to have like this, and we are like this, but for more than 25 years, and it's a grinding. And again, I cannot be proud of myself as a kind of like a business, to develop a business, but to develop a very high-tech, very strong technology team. I'm proud of, because I say that we are a company that we're like lightweighters, but we can hit as a heavyweighters. And it's impossible for me to go to like large American bank and sell my service, but we have multiple large banks as a client. But when we introduce them, we show how we deliver and level of expertise, they coming for more. So I had my kind of like a demons that, me with Russian accent, great technology skills, but, you need to have like suit ties and speak like Wall Street people live and smell Wall Street. I need to speak like that, and I'm totally not that. But then I was kind of like healed by one of a mentor. He said, listen, if people are coming for more, then you have rights to exist. And we see that people are coming for more. Basically, I'm happy where I am in terms of our offering. Maybe we're not shiny and glossy and we don't smell like a Wall Street suit and ties, but we need to have our sleeves rolled to do the work. So that's basically a short version of the long story.
For sure. And obviously that you're in a very competitive space. So what kind of like separates you from your competition?
Well, I think if you look at the whole industry, I think only 30% of IT projects are more or less successful. A lot of them failing because of they spend more. People say that you cannot do three things, at the same time. It's like quality, cost, and speed. So they all like sacrifice something. And again, only 30% industry-wide successful projects. Everything like there are lots of failures and lots of failures because of lack of knowledge of technology and lack of knowledge of technology delivery management. And I think that we are very strong at that. And yeah, on the marketing, on like storefront, we say that we highly concentrated in regulated industries and we operate regulated. But I think our strength is to deliver IT projects, challenges on time, on budget. We know we are not afraid to do fixed price projects because we know exactly how much time we need it and we put a little bit more and we are not scared. And sometimes we go to a big client and we say, okay, it will be, let's say $50,000. Like, what if it takes longer? We're like, it's not going to take longer and it's not going to take more money. They're like, no, we don't understand because at some point, if the project will spill over, you will tell us, pay us this. We're like, we won't. They're like, oh, you need to have a provision how much you would charge if project will, take longer. They're like, oh, but this is the mentality in the industry because of bad IT delivery. So this is like why I'm passionate about it. And, like 80% is not a delivery. It has to be 100%. It has to be on time, on budget, and on quality. Okay, I agree, time can be pushed. But if your vendor asking for more money because they miscalculated, it's a bad vendor.
And I guess like when it comes to like how you help your clients, if you can just kind of dive in, maybe just like not mention a specific client, but like an example of somebody who you work with and how you help their business.
Can you rephrase it because I can't?
Yeah. So like essentially, like I was just curious if you can maybe share kind of a case study or an example of like how you work with like a certain client and then just like what you did specifically to help their business.
Yeah, I could tell you like my motto is you have to be with your client in thick and thin. And sometimes we spend more time, more money, and we don't charge for it. So if a client has like a crisis, like serious crisis, you have to be with client. You have to spend as much time as you have to. Usually it starts like this. It's like 11 p.m. You kind of like relaxing, reading something, listening, whatever, and there is a call that the whole environment is down. It looks like encryption is going on, and we and that would be a client that we were telling them to do this and this and that, and they were taking shortcuts, and then boom, we have a serious problem. And then they're like, oh my God, it's going to be like another of 24/7 when people will have to rotate and change and cover for each other. And we usually and I'm not giving you a situation like normal day-to-day operation like crisis management. So we're like, okay, guys, we have this situation within the company. Like, okay, let's organize teams. So we have a guy who's usually helping communicating because he's a lawyer, cybersecurity lawyer, and you have to communicate with the government. You have to communicate with clients. This is like one operation within crisis management. Another team we try to figure out how to bring it up, and the third team is trying to figure out how to remediate actual breach and maybe restore, but make sure that you kick out bad guys and close all the doors. So that team is trying to figure out how they got in and how to plug all the holes. And my job is to make sure that all these teams are running in parallel and update each other and messaging running, back and forth. And when one team discovers something important, another team would know. So it's the communication and push for answers. And a good quality of my guys, like probably lost skill, is to go to logs and try to correlate logs and understand what happened. It's grinding. There is no like a silver bullet, silver panache that can help you. So they're grinding through the logs. They're spending like hours and hours and hours trying to figure out what it is. Because if that client had like full-blown SIEM and we will ingest this data and we will have it will be like much easier. In most cases, clients are taking they're saving money, or there is a company like holistic company, and they have like a CMM MDR only for end users, and everything else is not protected. So there is no holistic view. So, but what I'm saying is that when you go into that fight, you're like, oh my God, will we be able to recover them? Will we be able to bring them up? Are we going to be? Because it's almost like a boxing match, bad guys against good guys, and sometimes they keep persistence, and sometimes we are doing something and they are doing something in parallel. So it's almost like a boxing match. And every time when you go to the ring, if you are a coach, or if you are, but you never go and compete. Going competing is like totally different thing. So when you're like heart is popping up when you like go into the ring. So it's same thing. Like, next crisis is like, are you good enough to, will you be able to win that fight? But I'm coming to the end of my story. You go through it and you grind, you win anyway, because, the fighters are not good ones are not the ones that are hitting harder. The good ones are that are hitting to the end, and we are hitting to the end. We are fixing, and after that you look back and we won again. We have such a pleasure looking at the whole history of this type of recovery and operation, and we certainly make our clients stronger. They survive, they continue working, and I can tell you that we participated in dozens of recoveries like this, and we didn't lose a single client to hackers, to encryption. So yeah, and the most important is business. We have to preserve the business. So it doesn't matter how many hours we spend, whatever. Business has to be like a Swift watch. That's the goal, and this is like one of the keys. Again, this is not normal operation. This is how we behave when something happens extraordinary.
Makes sense. So obviously, early on, you were saying that you kind of, grew this company from word of mouth and referrals. I guess nowadays, when it comes to business development, what's been like some of the best ways that you've gotten clients? Like, is it more so still referrals? Do you guys go to conferences, running advertisements? Like, what's been like some of like the best channels for you?
I'm really bad about it. And maybe like I'm becoming a little bit better now. And yeah, I'm a wrong guy to ask because as I said, I'm so like not salesy that it's very hard for me to even like organize what we do. But the one thing is what I learned, that when you want like a zero game, okay, I'm paying, but you're getting me leads or whatever it is, it never works. So it has to be some kind of a relationship where it benefits like all participating companies or all participating parties. And this channel work is anyone can be channel. You could be channel for me, because if I explain how we work and you know that that would be applicable for a friend or another client or whatever it is, you would. And if I remind you about myself, so I will send you an Amazon gift card for Christmas, you would remember that if something happens, call Mike for this type of a situation. And that's kind of how we do things. We value our contacts, we value our people that wanted to listen to us, ready to listen to them, what value we could bring to them. And this type of a networking, we call it like energizing our channels. So we always think how to be close with them. for example. So he would remember us and he would recommend us if there is something. So we try not to be very noisy. We share news. We invite to, I don't know, we just recently ran clear shooting clients, but mostly for partners. Sometimes a client become a channel partner for us. So, and in this era of products, because you want something, you will find like, I don't know, 5, 10 products, and your problem is what they implement. Because if this product, I'll spend 2, 3 months implementing one, and then I have to switch because it doesn't work for me. It's very hard to judge what to take. And consulting companies, it's even harder. So that's why we're seeing that you need either like very big buck to push through the noise. And I can tell you an example. Like for some reason, like one of our clients is saying, "Listen, we are dumping this vendor and we are going with this vendor." And I'm like, why? And they're like, because it's a better product. I'm like, look, if you like take out all this whatever fluff, it's the same product. They're like, no, everybody have to implement it. So marketing, but I don't know how much money that vendor spent on the whole notion that they're better, because today nobody is like extremely better. As soon as someone figures out, like, the barrier to market is so kind of low, a few months and everybody catch up. We see that marketing and like go to market strategies and all these things that I don't know or I'm not very good at, they are only making difference, because sometimes you see price like this and price like this and the product will be like absolutely the same. Or marketing impact or marketing visibility of better product would be like much lower. And in this situation, we see that it's very hard to do kind of demand generation, lead generation. It's all referrals, because one friend of mine who runs like very serious IT organization for retail business, he was saying that if I need a solution, I would have, because I'm long in this industry, I would call someone. I would call my friend. And if I don't have anyone who knows it, I would, like a friend of mine would recommend someone. And if nobody, and it never happened, I will just start picking up the phone and I will have 5 solutions within 30 minutes. Because every day he comes to work, he raises all voicemails and he takes all like mail, direct mail, he throws it to the garbage, and he deletes like all his emails except like internal. So the penetration is very hard. So again, we are finding our way only through networking, channels, friends, introductions. And I guess this is why we're growing like this, not like that. But, not everybody can do those financial stunts.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, all those things take time. So if somebody's watching this show and if they wanted to reach out to you, or if they wanted to work with you, do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess best ways to get in contact.
On LinkedIn, our full name is Digital Edge Ventures, and we are digitaledge.net. But I hope this episode will have our links in the discussions. But I don't think that anyone would click. They would probably write to you then. You would suggest to use us, because again, we believe in this personal relationship. It's very important to stay close with your friends.
So, well, Michael, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Bye.